Are you ready for the Low Blows Network? Finally,
they finally gave me my own podcast.
Jerry comes to the Low Blows Network. One of the biggest legends of the Irish wrestling scene, Jerry talks to his wrestling friends and beyond about the hobbies in their lives that they're most nerdy about in Talk Nerdy to Me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is another Talk Nerdy to Me with your man, Jerry. Still don't have a second name. What's going on there?
I don't know. Well, to be fair, I thought Jerry's just a way to stick with it at this stage. But
I kind of have to now. It's
do you
like
feel
the sixth. It's like the sixth episode.
Yeah. Do you feel content not having a surname though, or just happy with Jerry? Something's missing.
It's kind of like when you're introducing yourself. I'm Jerry.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't get any more. But our illustrious leader hasn't given me a second name.
Oh, of course.
Even though every time. I am going to laugh at that every time. Now, we're not going to give too much airtime to Mr. Nash this week. We gave a lot to him last week, but he doesn't deserve it. What I would like to say is a very speedy recovery, please. A very speedy recovery to one Katie Harvey, one of the co-hosts of the main Low Blow show. She had a very, very nasty injury at Contenders on Sunday, and we wish her all the best of luck and fingers crossed she gets back on her feet. Well, it didn't affect her feet, affected her arms, but let's hope she speedy recovery to you anyway, Katie, and we're definitely going to have you on the show soon. We know you want to come on and talk about Winter Soldier and Captain America. But no, fingers crossed you'll make a speedy recovery very quickly, and we wish you all the best. Moving right on, Dave, we have our very, very first guest of the year.
Right.
Of 2019. This is a man of many names. It's a man that has taken a pummeling in and out of the ring for various different reasons. And he's here to talk on a couple of different things that he's been doing and a couple of different things that he's going to be doing. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the show Mr. Mark Flanagan.
Hello, Jerry. How are we keeping? Jerry, no surname.
Jerry, no surname. What do you think of that round of applause? Look at that beautiful audience.
Beautiful audience, beautiful people.
We always do this in front of a live studio audience.
Oh, yes.
Of two people.
My one fan and a large echo.
Actually, that's very good, yeah. Now, you're more commonly known as two other names.
Yes.
One is, now I hope we get this name right, is Elektro. There we go.
That's right.
I once, in a promo video, called you Electrico.
That's right.
Electrico.
Yeah.
Now, that wasn't me. That was the boss at the time told me to say that. I just wanted to let you know.
It's the boss's fault.
And then a man by the name of Adam Ace.
That's right.
Okay, as a man that goes around kicking ass and throwing cards at people.
That's it.
Like a Marvel superhero.
Exactly.
Okay, well, it's good that you're on this show then.
Yes, it is, because, it's very fitting for the theme of the week.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So, Mark, you are a man who has been in and out of the wrestling ring, but more recently you've been doing something possibly a little bit more dangerous, I would assume, and that is working on a show by the name of
Vikings.
There we go, Vikings. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen this show, get out and watch this show. It is it's basically the Irish Celtic Viking version of Game of Thrones. That's the best way. Am I right by saying that? I think
very,
so.
Very accurate. Very, very
absolutely.
Accurate, yeah.
A lot of Irish talent in it. A lot of European talent, but a lot of Irish talent in it as well. So Mark, let's get into it. How did you get involved in Vikings?
So with Vikings, I met a woman by the name of Breda Walsh, who was the producer for Vikings. At the time, I was looking for some work, and she offered me a chance to be an extra on the show, which was great. And I got out for a couple of days here and there as an extra, and then within maybe 3 months, I struck up a conversation with a man by the name of Richard Ryan, and he was the stunt coordinator on Vikings. And me being naive and silly, and me being me, basically, I had no idea who the hell he was at the time. And then a friend of mine, Rachel, who was actually a stunt person on the show, turned around to him and said, "Oh, he's actually a professional wrestler as well, so he can do all the same stuff we can, and with a little bit of training he could be pretty good." So he brought me out to a place that we called the Stunt Shed, where they basically pretend to beat the hell out of you while actually beating the hell out of you. They just say pretend in air quotations so they can legally do it.
Yeah.
He brought me out there for a day of training to see, if I had any potential, which apparently I did. And he was like, okay, we'll bring you out for a couple of days trial. Did a few days trial on set. And from that day on, then I was doing stunts. And that was it.
So that's how it...
No, I was a pretty rare case.
Okay.
That's not how a lot of people do it. A lot of people have to, go through the Gaiety School of Acting. They have to go to college. They have to spend heap tons of money and get all these different qualifications, whereas I was so very, 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 very fortunate.
Very fortunate, but obviously they saw something in you and they said, no, this guy has something here.
Yeah.
He knows how to basically fall on his ass.
Yeah, he knows how to fall
and know how to take a beating, so,
Yeah.
so that's how it came about.
That's basically how it came about, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, take us through an average a day as a stuntman on Vikings.
Oh, wow.
How
Okay,
grueling would it be?
An average day is, for me, you're up at 4 a.m., you're out onto the set for 6 a.m. Then straight away you get there, you're going through hair, you're going through makeup, you're going through costume. You got to get all that ready and down onto the set for 7 a.m. Work starts at 7. So 7 a.m. we start. You could be standing around for maybe 10, 15 minutes, maybe going through a few different fight rehearsals and things like that. Then the boss will come over and he'll be like, okay, you guys are going to be fighting with this actor today, you guys are going to fight with these actors, so on and so forth. And then we'll actually work out the actual fight routines with the actors. Now, the actors usually have trained these for maybe 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, because all the actors pretty much do all their own stunts when it comes to sword fighting and things like that. So the actors would know the routine for about 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, and then we'll step in, we'll do maybe 2 or 3 hours training with them to make sure they're used to us and our movements with it. Then we go ahead and we start filming. So you could be talking one scene might take 2-3 days to film. And we won't finish that day till maybe 6 p.m.
So you've been up since 4, you're on sets from 6, and you're doing a full 12-hour shift.
Full 12-hour shift, and then you got to go back then to unit base to get out of your costume, your hair and your makeup, drive home, start the next thing, the next day all over again.
And how many days a week is that?
It can vary. It can vary from maybe 2 days in a row to 2 or 3 days in a week, but I have at one point done 10 days in a row.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a lot.
That is a lot. Yeah.
Especially, as you say, getting up at 4, get there for 6, not finish at 6. And, you're not guaranteed to be finished at 6.
No, you're not guaguaranteed. No.
You could finish at 5, you could finish at 10.
That's it. That's exactly it, yeah.
And so I'm assuming that those days, especially that 10-day, that 10-day run was a grueling
That was grueling, but at the same time, they do reward us with different things. Like there was one day I remember, and it was absolutely phenomenal. We had done 7 days in a row, and we were doing this big battle on Scar Mountain, and we basically had 2 armies that were running and clashing and beating the hell out of each other. But because of the lack of stunt people, because there's a serious lack of stunt people in this country, what we had to do to film it was we had all the stunt people at the top of the hill running down, maybe 10 times. Then all the stunt people at the bottom of the hill running up, maybe 10 times. Okay. And then they obviously CG the whole thing together to make it look like everyone's clashing.
Okay.
So we've done this, and we've done little small fights for the full 6 days. And then for this last half of the 7th day, the boss just walked out to us after doing all these strictly rehearsed fight scenes and just went, right, they're going to roll the camera for 10 minutes, have fun. And he just, and he just walked away, and we were all kind of looking around going, wait, what? What do you mean have fun? And he just kind of looked back at us and went, have fun. I gave a little cheeky nod and walked away. And this is a very serious man, you know? And he walked away, and then I was kind of standing there. I was like, okay, maybe he means just have a bit more banter with it. And one of his right hand men, Mihal, was standing just to my left, and I looked at him and went, so what are we actually doing there? And he just gave me the worst death stare I've ever seen in my life, and he just went, watch out. And I was like, what? And there's me with an aluminium sword in my hand, a fully wooden shield that weighs maybe 15 pounds in my other hand, and that dude picked me up and threw me like I was nothing. And me with the whole lot. And I was like, what the hell is happening? And we did maybe 7 or 8 takes like that, where we all literally just beat the hell out of each other, took out all of our frustrations.
That just seems like the funnest thing to do, wouldn't it, Dave?
So much fun. So much fun. So that was our reward for the slavery we had done for the 6 days beforehand.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can imagine just being there, not being, me being a wimp that I am. I'd rather just sit and watch. My God, can you imagine watching that? Now, you were on set as well, Dave, weren't you?
Yeah.
Did you see anything like that?
We didn't see any stunts stuff specifically like that. Like with the time I was there, we practiced the fencing with the axe and the shield. So it was just move, move. So it wasn't exactly brass with huge choreography or anything like that. But we did see, like, we did also do, like, the start of each battle, like, when they're running up the hill and down the hill as well. So, like, we're both sides are exactly the same, not to ruin it, but, like, we both basically switch shields and switch flags.
Yeah. There's only so many people you can have on set in one day.
It gets better because, like, we had to, there was, even though there was a big number of us doing it as well, they had to do one for the center, one scene for us in the center, one scene for us in the left of the shot, and one scene for us in the right of the shot. It's all
done in post-production then afterwards.
It's amazing because when you watch it on TV, you don't expect that's what is happening. You know, people are filming one side, people are filming the other side, and then you get the bit in the middle. The fact that you're saying there's not that many stunt people in Ireland, the post-production must be amazing to allow the audience to watch it and go and not see any
and
like
a lot of that is a credit to Richard Ryan, the stunt coordinator, and the cameramen as well, because the cameramen are very, very good at remembering faces. Because there was one point where we were doing a scene and someone had to shoot a horse that had Jonathan Rhys-Meyers on it, and he was going to do a fall off the horse and all that sort of stuff, and he was going to get captured. And they had this stuntman there, and he had the bow and the arrow, and he was getting ready to do the take, and the cameraman kind of stopped and went, "Wait a minute, didn't he do something very similar to this maybe 2 seasons ago? Isn't that the same guy?" So they actually went off and got a researcher to check within the course of an hour, and they filmed something else in process. And then when they came back, they went, "Yeah, it's the same guy." So they ended up getting me in to do it instead, which I was very happy about, because then that shot ended up in the ad for season 5.
Wow, that's what you call seriously good continuity.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I went to college, I did a short course, God, now it must be about 15 years ago now. And it was film production and stuff like that. So I was in charge of continuity of the scene that we were filming, and I was stickler. I was like, no, that's wrong. And people say, no, that's right. It's like, no, continuity guy, that's wrong.
That's wrong. Yeah.
So to see a cameraman actually say, "Whoa, hold on a minute," that was really good.
That's the fact that it was 2 seasons previous, which would have been about 3 years.
You're not talking, you're not talking a couple of months or a couple of days or a couple of weeks. You're talking literally years. And this guy remembered. That's fantastic.
That's absolutely amazing. And the fact that, you know, the camera guys and the camera guys' assistants and on all their teams make it their business really to get to know everyone as well. So then it's not that difficult for them to try and remember certain people. Especially when it comes to the stunt department, we all got on very well with them, but it made it a little bit easier for them then later on in the later seasons, because they'd be like, "Oh no, we've used this guy and we've used that guy so many times, let's swap them out for different people now." And that way it always looks like it's a fresh face the whole time.
No, only that, it's kind of giving everyone the opportunity.
Exactly, it's giving everyone screen time, because, you know, that's actually a really big commonality between stunts and professional wrestling, is where, you know, you'll get one guy on screen and it's just the back of his head and he's in deep background and he's there for 10 seconds, but you'll get somebody that'll say, "Well, why is he there for 10 seconds and not me?" You'll always get that. You'll always get it. Someone will say it, and they were really, really good at making sure that everyone kept rotating the whole time, so you never seen the same faces.
So will there have been politics?
Oh my God!
In it as well.
There's always politics. Unfortunately, there's politics in everything that's good on this earth.
Everything.
Everything that's good on this earth has politics in it, except for politics.
Yeah, because they don't do a damn thing.
No,
those damn politicians, they do nothing. Dave's just saying,
the politics in them is just the way they say it, and how and the way it's translated around, and thinking, see, you didn't do that. Like, you're just wording it in the sense by saying something. Oh, in the fullness of time. What does that mean?
In the fullness of time, we'll do that. No,
but that's crazy, because obviously you look at the similarities there. Obviously, it's wrestling is a dangerous sport. Katie Harvey proved that on Sunday. You know, and I hear Absolute Trooper did not shed a single tear. Basically,
Katie's a tough chick.
The tough. There is a reason she's called the Queen.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely,
she is
that's the reason
tough as
she's called
nails,
the Queen.
and guaranteed, you know, she will get to 100%, and she'll be back in that ring.
Oh, she'll be back in there, no problem.
Guaranteed.
I guarantee you, probably 6 months, boom, back in there. But you know, you've got people, and it's a dangerous thing, and so is stuntman. But then you've got the politics side of professional wrestling. And you know, some people genuinely like it. I have never liked it. I have never tried. You know, I've never been in a position to do it. To have anything to do with it. But I've seen so much of it. And now you're saying it's something similar.
Yeah, there is a lot of politics. Like, I mean, in wrestling and in stunts, it's very much a case of, you know, you work hard, you try to be the best at what you're doing. Because, I mean, let's be honest, if you're not trying to be the best version of you, then you're just existing. You're not really living, you know. And that's something I've been.
That's a great way of thinking.
Yeah, that's something I've been living by for the last couple of years. And it took me a while to realise that. But before I realised it, it was always a case of, try to do your best, but but always play ball.
Yeah.
And then after I realised that, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to be the best version of me. I'm going to try to be the best at everything I'm doing. And I kept noticing that I wasn't getting the results that I wanted, but even though I was doing everything to the best of my ability. And I was like, okay, but these other people who are doing it to the half of my ability are getting more opportunities and more success than me. And I was trying to sit back and think about why. And then I realised, it's because you're drinking with this guy. And you're pals with this guy, and you were at this dude's kid's birthday party for no reason other than kissing his ass, So, it'd be different situations like that, and then, one person whispers in another person's ear, and then all these kind of things happen.
That's all it is. It's trying these little whispers, and
that's it.
Oh, I can do this for you if you do this for me.
Exactly.
Oh, kiss my ass. Absolutely.
And then not only that, then. But then not only that, then as well, you also have somebody like, let's say, for argument's sake, if me and you had a conversation, we disagreed on something, and then later on you go off and you talk to Rick, and you're like, I don't know, I don't like that guy. He's a douche. He's a douchebag.
Yeah.
All because we had one bad conversation you didn't like, even though Rick might agree with my side of the conversation.
He probably would. He's an arse like that.
Yeah, because let's be honest, no one actually cares what you have to say. But I'm joking. I love you.
Well, it looks like it's going to be called the Mark Flanagan Show now, isn't it?
No, sure. I'm leaving in 2 weeks. They can't afford me.
Thanks be to Jesus.
They can't afford me.
Jesus, Allah Buddha. I actually don't know. I'm not religious at all. Jesus, Allah Buddha, Homer Simpson, whatever you believe in, I don't care. So getting back to being on the set of Vikings, obviously you had to work with a lot of people, and you were talking about Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Rhys
Meyers. Who was your favourite person to work with on set?
On Vikings. I think my favourite person to work with is Alex Ho Anderson.
Okay.
He plays Ivor the Boneless.
Okay.
As an adult, he was absolutely phenomenal. This guy, he's really young, but he's going to be the next top actor in Hollywood, guaranteed.
I thought that was going to be me, but however.
I
suppose I'm not young anymore, Dave, am I?
He's a young guy with the cornrows, is he?
The cornrows, that's right.
I remember him.
He plays Ivor the Boneless, who's a cripple, and he's the son of Ragnar Lothbrok, and he is. You'll actually love this analogy. He is the Viking version of the Joker.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know where to get me.
I do. I do know where to get you. I do know where to get you.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
The very first day I seen him act, I was like, oh my god, that dude is born to be the Joker. And then when he started portraying his character on the show, I was like, wow, he is playing the Joker, but he's playing his Viking version of it, and it's so well done.
Okay.
But then outside of his own character, as a person, he's absolutely lovely. He's really nice to talk to, really easy to get on with. He's attractive. He's got a great physique. He can act. He can sing. He can dance. He can beatbox. He's a professional photographer as well.
He can beatbox.
It's like,
my God,
what
he
can't
can
this
literally
guy
do anything.
Yeah. So what can't he's this generation's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh wow, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So
well, is he as funny?
I would say so. Yeah.
Oh really?
I would say so. Yeah.
Because that's difficult.
He hasn't got the dry personality yet. But give that time. Wait till
give him time.
There's no downside. It's not like he has a squeaky voice or anything.
That's
like
it. Yeah. Every time I see him, I'm always like, yeah, there has to be something wrong with you. You have to be like terrible in bed or something. Yeah, you have to be.
So obviously, you've worked with some fantastic actors, as I said, and you talked about that 10-day stretch, and then that day when the director goes, just have fun.
Yeah.
Was that the best day on set though? Could you say like there was another day where you went, Jesus, that was just not like fantastic for you, or fantastic looking at, oh my God, the acting was great, or something like that?
There was one day that personally for me was just the best day on set, and it was where I came down on the set and we had just done 3 days in a quarry in ice cold water that gave a bunch of us hypothermia.
Wow.
We did filming in the quarry in October at night, so we were in the water from like 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. which was absolutely horrible. And yeah, one of the guys even got hypothermia to the point where he lost 15 minutes of life. He doesn't remember anything. Do you remember a thing? He was in the water, and the next thing you know, he was in the hot tent, like half naked, trying to get warmer. People joining him down with towels, and he had no idea how he got from one place to the other.
That just sounds like me drinking last year.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing when you're up there, though, because it's so cold, especially up in the Wicklow Mountains.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it's there. Like, it's literally. The only way I can describe it was I was there for a day of filming. I think this was from 6 a.m. till, I think, God, till like 4 p.m, and it was nothing but rain. And when I say rain, marbles of water dropping down on you.
Yeah.
It breaks your heart.
It really does, and the fact that you can't wear a whole hell of a lot of clothes underneath your costume because they'll see it, and obviously it's not time appropriate, so...
This is not the Lord of the Rings where they're all walking around with Nike runners on.
Exactly, yeah, no, you can't have any of that.
So if you're going to wear thermals, you have to be really particular about which ones they are, because otherwise...
There was actually one day where I'd actually bought a really expensive thermal top, and they usually have these like time-appropriate snoods that they put on you, but they'd run out of them, so they didn't have any for me.
Oh, no.
So one of the girls came along, and I'd only bought this thing like 2 days beforehand, and it was lovely and it was expensive, and she came up along with the scissors and just...
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Cut the whole top off it, so I was like the whole neck piece of it off, and I was like, oh my God, you just ruined my €100 thermal top. Thank you.
Well, that's your own fault for buying a €100 thermal top now, in fairness, Mark.
I like my merino wool.
Oh, well, there you go, yeah. Now, obviously, we're filming has finished now on Vikings. What was it like to finish up on the show?
It was emotional. It was like, there's been so many of us there for so long. I've been there now since season 2. So to go through...
Wow, good long run, actually. You only missed one season.
Yeah, I've only missed the first season, that was it. So to go through... essentially 5 seasons with the same boss and the same cast, same crew, same cameraman, everything like that. It was emotional because, you know, you go through a lot of ups and downs, especially when you don't know if you're going to get another season. You don't know if you're going to get another battle. You don't know if you're going to get another day's work. And then when you are out on work, you see people getting hurt and you see people getting damaged and things like that. Like I've seen a guy, you know, doing a fight with an actor, and then the actor accidentally breaking a guy's finger. And he, like, I've seen him have nothing but compassion, shut down whatever he's doing, be like, no, we need to take care of this guy. Whereas in the industry, a lot of people don't care about stunts. We're replaceable. We're, you know, secondary to everything else.
You're a number. Oh, that's stuntman number 3.
So there's a lot of compassion from all the crew.
There's a lot of compassion, especially over the length of time that everyone was there. So it was a bit of an emotional time when everything was wrapping up and everyone was finishing up. But then at the same time, there was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of buzz. There was a lot of different things that was coming up for other people. Like, for example, Alexander Ludwig, he's moving on now and he's doing the new Bad Boys movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's doing that with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, Bad Boys for Life.
That's been filmed as we speak, I think.
That's been filmed now as we speak, yeah. They just started filming the other day. And, you know, there's a lot of buzz about things like that, you know, who's gone on to the next biggest and best thing. And it was the same for all the stunt crew. Like, what are you going on to do? What are you going on to do? And everyone wishing each other well. And then there was a lot of excitement in the atmosphere when we were there as well.
Yeah,
so it was good.
You know, because I described it as like the Irish Celtic version of Game of Thrones earlier on, and because it was all filmed here.
Yeah.
Now, was it all filmed here, or were there times where it was elsewhere?
There was one time when it was elsewhere, and they went to Iceland. Iceland, yeah.
Just simply, I'd assume for the ice, for snow.
Actually, for the volcano.
For the volcano, well, that's a bit different. That's
a little bit. No, they used a lot of snow stuff there as well. But what happened was there's like it's actually been airing recently where there's a settlement that leaves Kattegat and goes off to Iceland to be with the gods.
Okay.
And then when they get there to the gods, then they realise, you know, a lot of stuff's about to happen. A lot of stuff's going to go down. It's not quite what they planned, but a lot of it is actually filmed and done in Iceland. Wow. Which is absolutely phenomenal because they get some beautiful shots of the Aurora Borealis, to get beautiful shots of the volcanoes in the background and the volcanic ash on the ground, which you couldn't really replicate to that extent.
Yeah. It would cost a lot of money to try and replicate it here,
yeah. It just came across so beautiful when they did it.
Yeah.
I was kind of jealous that I wasn't part of the crew that got to go over there. But
I'd imagine. So, obviously, you know, without going into detail and no spoilers, anything like that, are we in for an explosive final season?
Oh, my God. The final season for me, you know, whenever I sit down and watch a TV program, I always compare it to the likes of the first season of Prison Break, or the last couple of episodes of Breaking Bad, or, you know, all these big blockbuster things that you're like, oh my God, like, that's perfect, you know, that perfect thing. So for me now, based off the things that we've filmed, I think whenever I start watching new TV shows, I'm going to base it off the last season of Vikings.
Wow.
I'm going to compare it to that for how good it needs to be in order for me to stand and watch it.
Okay. So that's the standard now for you?
That's the new standard for me now.
Now, I'm going to be a little bit cheeky here.
You can try.
Did you have a lot of work in the last season?
I didn't have a massive amount of work now in the last season.
But did the other stuntman?
The other stuntman did.
That's very cheeky, I know.
I was unfortunately away doing other things. But I got to do a lot of work towards the start of it, and then I did a little bit more work than towards the end, but there was a little gap in the middle where I wasn't around. But some of the work that we got to do was absolutely incredible. Like, absolutely incredible. Like, there's walls of fire, there's people going on fire, there's...
Oh, wow, okay.
There's lots of water stuff, there's lots of stuff that's going to come up.
So you're talking absolutely action-packed.
Absolute chaos.
They pull out all the stops.
All the stops, absolute chaos. And when people watch it, there's going to be a lot of jaws on the floor. Definitely.
Oh, wow, okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Because my wife she's a huge fan.
Okay.
And she's a huge fan of Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. Now, I personally have not watched a lot of the show myself.
Okay.
I'm not as far as Jonathan Rhys-Meyers yet. She's a huge fan of him. But she was saying, oh no, there's only one series left, and I said, well, no, you have to look at it in the sense of look at the hype around Game of Thrones. There's going to be serious hype when the last season of Vikings comes out, because they're going to, it's the final season. You're going to pull out all the stuff.
Oh yeah, they're going to push.
You're going to do as much as you can. So in terms of that, are we going to be happy?
I think so. I think everyone wants to look at a show like it's a story. And it is a long-winded story to take place over 6 seasons, of course. But everyone wants a story to have a good ending and a good finish to it. But what people tend to forget is you need a story to come full circle.
Yes.
And I think Vikings did a very, very, very good job of keeping in theme with the show, making the story come full circle so that the audience will be happy when they watch it. Because... when you finish filming it, at the end of the day, you also want people to go out and buy the DVD.
Oh, yeah,
you want
absolutely.
people to recommend it to their friends, and then they start watching it then, So you need the story and the ending to be good, so then people won't turn around and say, oh, is it like Dexter? That's one question you never want to ask about your own show. Is it like Dexter? That's just a kick in the teeth, Yeah. So... No, I think they did a very, very good job at wrapping it up at the end, and I think everyone's going to be pleasantly surprised by how it turns out.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that now. I have to say, I need to really get into it, really dedicate some time to it. But obviously, you got the job in Vikings, but then you got job after Vikings as well, and you got a particular movie that a lot of our listeners who are fans of wrestling and part of Low Blows would know people in. So, what was the film that you were in?
It was the Marine 6.
Marine 6.
Marine 6, yeah.
And who did you work on? Who did you work with on the set?
I worked with Becky Lynch, and I worked with Shawn Michaels.
Now, that to me, that's starstruck right there.
Yeah.
Like, not only, you go to, he had like an evening in Vicar Street and things like that, so you go and meet him, and that's one thing, but to actually get to work with him on set, what was that like?
I was like the 12-year-old in me was jumping for joy. I grew up idolising Shawn Michaels, so it was absolutely phenomenal. And then Dan Stiles, who was the stunt coordinator on it, and he basically contacted me and said, "Hey Mark, are you free to do a film?" And I was like, yeah, sure. What's the dates? He gave me over the dates, and I was like, yeah, I can come over, I can do that for you. He said, great, I got a great surprise for you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then Becky actually texted me like 2 days later, and she's like, hey, are you coming to London? And I was like, yeah. Why? But what made you ask me that? And she's like, oh, I'm doing a film in London. I'm just wondering if you're on it, because there's a guy here with your name. And I was like, I'll get back to you. So I rang Dan, and I was like, Dan, by any chance is the film you're on the Marine 6? He went, yeah, how'd you find that out? I was like, Becky just texted me. And it turned out it was the same film. So when I got to set that day, my very first day, I seen Becky, she gave me a hug, and we were talking for a few minutes. And then out of the blue, I just hear this really, really exceptionally deep Texan voice. Hey, brother. Looked over my shoulder, and I swear to God, the 12-year-old in me literally just almost died of a heart attack.
And you didn't know?
I had no idea he was on set that day.
Wow.
No idea. I knew he was in the movie.
So let's be honest, the surprise actually wasn't ruined.
It wasn't ruined at all, no.
Part of it was because obviously
But it's like a two-part surprise. Like first did Becky text you, and then Shawn, so.
And then meet Shawn, because Becky knew that I was a big fan of Shawn's.
Yeah.
And I think Becky told Dan not to tell me, because Dan had originally told me that it was The Miz that was going to be on set.
Yes.
And The Miz had wrapped up the day before.
So he wasn't there?
He was there, but I didn't get to work with him.
All
right. Okay.
But I got to see him. I got to talk to him for a few minutes, because he was kind of wrapping up a few voiceover things he had to do in the studio part. But he was a lovely, lovely guy. But I was told it was going to be him I was going to be working with. Yeah. And then it turns out it was actually Shawn Michaels. I was like, okay, this is pretty badass.
Like, that's literally something special.
Oh yeah,
because he doesn't do many things outside of obviously I know it's a WWE production,
Yeah.
but he doesn't do many things outside, like training people in the performance center, doing a couple of appearances and a couple of autograph signings. That's really all he does.
He doesn't
So
do a
for
lot of
him
stuff,
to be in a film and for you to get to work with him, like, that dream come true.
Oh my God, without a doubt. Like, single-handedly one of the best days of my life.
So I remember seeing, stuff that you'd put on Facebook about the time you'd spent on the Marine, and then you spent actually some private time with Shawn Michaels, talking about wrestling. What was that like?
That was very, very interesting. Because obviously it was a long day. It was a similar shoot time as Vikings. You know, you were up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you were finishing at 6 o'clock in the evening. That specific day, I think we wrapped up at 5, so we wrapped up about an hour early. And we were heading back to the truck and to the trailers and stuff. And Shawn Michaels actually had my knee pads. He had borrowed them for one of the stunts we were doing that day.
Well, his knees aren't bits.
So his knees aren't bits, yeah. So he borrowed my knee pads because they were the only ones that would fit him. And I'd forgotten he had them. And I was like, oh, crap, I need to go get my knee pads. So I was like, okay, where is Shawn's trailer? So I had to rummage through all the trailers looking for the name on the door and be like, oh, okay, there he is, banging on the door. And it was actually really funny, and he's like, who is it? And I was like, it's Mark, the stunt guy. And he's like, give me a minute, I'm naked.
Okay.
I was like, take all the time you need, man. I don't need to see that part of you. So
I bet you there was a little part of him saying, I kind of want to see that.
Well, we'll save that for another podcast.
That's the Over the 18s podcast.
That's the Over 18s podcast.
There was a time called 1997.
Yeah. I don't remember a lot of the 90s.
I remember seeing a particular picture of Shawn Michaels with a championship belt.
He didn't have a championship belt when he was in the trailer.
Well, he did have your knee pads.
They did feel extra stretched when I got
Yay!
But no, so I knocked on the trailer door anyway, and he opened it up, and he's like, oh, you're here for your knee pads? I said, yeah. And he's like, oh, these are Trace. And I said, yeah. And he's like, are you a worker? And I was like, yeah, I'm a worker, yeah. And he's like, how long have you been working? And I was like, 7 years now. And he's like, come on in, sit down, let's have a chat. And I'm like, straight away, instigate, let's have a chat. And I was like, okay, great, let's have a chat. I thought it was going to be like a 5-10 minute conversation.
Yeah.
So then we got talking a little bit. He asked me about my character and, what kind of movesets I use and what my whole shtick is. And he said he liked it. And he said, have I considered doing X, Y, and Z, which I've started actually implementing now. And he's like, have you got any footage? And I was like, yeah, I've got a bit of footage, yeah. And he's like, great, let me see it. He ended up sitting down and watching 4 of my matches.
Wow. Okay.
Including one of them from OTT with Jordan.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, which was really, really good.
Because just recently he kind of came out and said, like, this is the guy to watch.
Yeah.
He said that Jordan is literally the best around and he's the guy to watch.
Definitely, absolutely.
So he saw a match with you and Jordan.
He saw a match with me and Jordan from OTT. It was a 6-way tag match, and he absolutely loved it. And he sat down and he got a piece of paper and a pen out, and he said, you're doing good with this, so keep doing this and then phase it into this, and then keep doing this and then phase it into this, and then phase it back to, so that way it's always constantly changing but always kind of similar and, all that sort of stuff. And, yeah, he ended up sitting down with me for an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
So you thought a 5-minute conversation is all it's going to be, and it turned into an hour and 15 minutes.
An hour and 15 minutes. I ended up missing my bus to the airport because I was leaving that day when we had the conversation. I ended up missing my bus to the airport, had to get a taxi there instead, and he ended up missing his lift back to the hotel.
I would imagine, though, that you would have paid any amount of money for a taxi just for the fact that
I almost made myself broke just to go back, because I was a good 50 minutes in a taxi away from the airport.
Now, I have to ask, that piece of paper that he wrote on, you still got that?
I got the piece of paper. I actually, in the movie, he aims a gun and pulls the trigger at me quite a few times, and I actually got to keep some of the bullets that he fired at me, which is pretty cool.
My God. So Shawn Michaels nearly killed
something
you.
You can put in a frame or something like that.
Yeah,
it's got to be, yeah.
The piece of paper with the bullets.
The bullets all hanging on it,
that's invaluable information,
Oh, yeah.
You literally can't pay for that.
No, like someone who's, forget about the fact that he's a Hall of Famer, he's, got a 20-plus year career in one of the biggest companies in the world. The guy, if someone can headline WrestleMania, and someone who's of a similar stigma of you're the small guy in the room, and for him to sit down and say, you can do this, you can do that, X, Y, and Z, and then you can do anything if you do these things, that actually, it's the best thing that could ever happen to someone like me, because I want to get to those places. You know what I mean? I want to get to the places he's been. So for him to turn around and say, do this, this, and this, and you'll get there, it's just like you said, priceless.
I'd imagine that you know, wherever you were mentally and physically, that would have brought you up so much.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. Like my whole attitude around everything that I'm doing now has completely changed because of the advice he's given me. Like he would point me in a direction. Like, you know, I want to go to one place, but he was saying, well, if you go there, X, Y, and Z will happen. But if you go to this place instead, you'll get everything that you already wanted, plus all this other stuff as well. You just got to go a different way. And I was like, okay, interesting. And then I started doing it, and I noticed all the stuff that I wanted starting to happen.
Did he teach you the secret of the best elbow drop in the world?
I'm going to say yes, but I'm not going to elaborate on it.
Like, this is the thing, is this is a guy who, you know, he's headlined WrestleManias. He's held championships. He's been going for X amount of years, and the fact that he came out of retirement and had a fantastic match, despite the fact that he is broken. Yeah, you know, his legs are broken and his back is broken, but he still does it. Yeah, like people say, you know, they say the likes, you know, Stone Cold or Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan, best of all time. But you look at Shawn Michaels, and obviously it's arguably, but he is probably the best in-ring performer of all time.
Oh, definitely. And like people always say he's the best in-ring performer of all time, and like Ric Flair is the greatest wrestler of all time and all this sort of stuff. I always think of it as, like, you know, just different categories, you know, because Ric Flair was the greatest personality of all time. Wasn't necessarily the greatest wrestler, but he was a phenomenal wrestler at the same time. Shawn Michaels was, you know, probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Didn't always have the best character in the world, but he was one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. So it's always broken down into different categories. The way I always like to put it is, who would you put on your Mount Olympus of wrestling?
Oh, well, I have to be Shawn. Well, Dave, who's your Mount Olympus?
Oh, you put me in the spot here.
Yeah, that's the idea of a good podcast.
Oh God, I can't.
How many we got? We got four. Oh, that's difficult.
I can't deny Shawn Michaels.
It has to be Shawn. Well, for me, Shawn,
Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
And I've had to say one more, The Undertaker.
Wouldn't say Hogan.
I'll put Taker higher.
But that's the thing. Like, how do you not put like Macho Man? How do you
know.
not put Hogan? How do you not even put Vince McMahon? Like, you know, where would any of these people be without him?
Yeah, but look, okay, right. He would be on the other side of it, holding it up.
He'd be the guy funding it.
Well, I think that Mount Olympus, like, is still Vince McMahon's forehead. So maybe in that case,
yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, actually, you could have a Mount Olympus and all in his forehead.
All on his forehead. Yeah, that's a nice little workaround there. Yeah.
So, obviously, you've worked in Vikings, you've worked in the Marine. What are the latest projects that you've been...
The latest project that I've done was actually Mary Queen of Scots.
Oh,
which
fantastic.
hit cinemas recently. Yeah.
Fantastic. Literally saw it last night, and from start to finish, I was gripped. I didn't know what to make of, you know, the trailers. Kind of not misleading, but you're like, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah, you don't know what to expect.
And then you go in, and it's so much intrigue.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to a story like that, you don't expect the twists and turns that you get in that movie.
Exactly, yeah.
So what was it like working on Mary Queen of Scots?
It was a lot of fun to work on Mary Queen of Scots. I'm a big fan of Margot Robbie and a lot of her work, and Saoirse Ronan. I'm just a big fan of Margot Robbie, and I actually, my very first day on set, I walked up to one of my friends and said, right, I'm going to get fired. And he went, why? I was like, I'm going to do something really stupid. And he's like, of course you are. Why wouldn't you do anything stupid on your first day on a brand new set? And I walked straight up to Margot Robbie, and I only had a t-shirt on, and we're in the middle of this like freezing cold field. I only had a t-shirt on because we were putting on wetsuits to get into the river. I only had my t-shirt on and a wetsuit up to my waist, and I walked over to her, and I just looked at her, and I went like that, and I just kind of pointed at my arm, and she's seen all my comic book sleeve tattoo, and I went, want to have fun?
Oh dear! My God!
Yeah. And she just looked at me, and she gave me the biggest smile ever, and she just went, "Oh my God, yes." So instantly, I went, "Great, not getting fired." But yeah. So
what was the fun?
So Margot Robbie carries a tattoo machine everywhere she goes.
She tattooed you.
She did.
Margot Robbie tattooed you.
She did not tattoo me.
No, but I do know this. She had this machine on Graham Norton's show.
That's right.
She tattooed people.
And she tattooed someone's toe or something like
that.
Yeah,
she tattooed one of the producer's toes. Yeah.
Right. So what happened?
So basically, I wanted her to tattoo a Harley Quinn tattoo on my arm to go with my Joker tattoo and all that sort of stuff. And she was like, "Yeah, great, let's do it after we're finished." And I was like, "Happy days." So we were finished, we went back to the studio, and we started wrapping everything up. And I went down and I found her at the coffee machine. I was like, right, do you want to do this? She's like, yeah, let's do it. Because she wants to be a tattoo artist. She wants to get practice at it. So I was like, great. She's like, what do you want? I was like, anything Harley Quinn. You can decide, do whatever you want, just you do it. And she's like, okay, great. We got back to the trailer, and the needle for the machine was busted. And she hadn't got a replacement. And I was literally heartbroken. But she said if we ever get to working on it together again, just a reminder of this, and she'll give me one. So.
Well, let's fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for that.
Now, when you said that to her, was she in costume at the time, or
she was in costume at the time? She hadn't got her makeup done yet, but she was in costume.
So she was literally on set, ready to rock.
Ready to rock, yeah.
And you walk and say, "Want to have a bit of fun?"
Want to have a bit of fun.
She could have taken that really badly.
That's what I was hoping she wouldn't do.
Well, I think though it's the fact that she's not one of these. She doesn't seem or doesn't come across as one of these stuck-up actors.
No, she's very much
not. She's very down to earth. She's quite young.
Yeah, she's
very
young,
down
very
to
grounded.
earth, and she clearly wants to have a bit of fun because she wants to be a tattoo artist.
Yeah, like she's very humble. She's very down to earth. She's very easygoing. Like. If you want her to be on set at a certain time, she's like, yeah, great, no problem. If you want her to be on set, because she knows she's there to do a job. So she knows that, you guys are the boss, I'll come here whenever you guys need me. Whereas you get a lot of actors that are like, no, I want to go get a massage tomorrow morning, so I'm not coming in. And you're like,
wow, they're getting paid millions, but they're calling the shots.
But they're calling the shots. Whereas Margot Robbie understands that, she is the face of the movie.
Yeah.
But she also has to put on a good show for that movie, and she has to be.
So she sets a good example.
She sets a good example for everyone else.
One thing I have to say now, watching that movie is obviously I don't want to spoil it for anybody out there, but she kind of has this makeup that she gets put on to almost make her look ugly.
Yeah.
But even when she has the makeup on that makes her look ugly, she still is one of the most stunning women I've ever seen.
I know.
But how do you get uglied up and still be one of the most beautiful women in the world?
Because it's Margot Robbie. That's
It's Margot Robbie.
How do you do it?
How do I keep?
How do you look so beautiful when you're ugly?
How do I look like one of the most beautiful women in the world? I don't know. It must be the tits.
I think it might be.
It has to be because they're whopper set.
And they're real, right?
Oh, they're real, baby. Oh, I'll give you once we get off here. I'll give you a go.
Great.
I'm still stunned by the fact that Queen Elizabeth wants to tattoo you. So.
Queen Elizabeth the First wanted to tattoo your arm.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, I tell you, we're dropping a lot of names now. There was names dropped last week. There was names dropped this week. I tell you, last week I name dropped Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood,
yeah. We're besties now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, besties now.
Wow.
You have to listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I will. I'll definitely be tuning in.
That's a story.
I'm not one of these guys who just tunes into the podcast that just they're on. So
yeah,
you're all right.
Well, no, that's I have to say now if I was originally on one of your podcasts, Dave.
That's true, yeah.
And then I started listening in, and week after week, listen to these interesting people,
yeah,
and what they have to say, and like I'll point out Justy as being one
great
of the
example.
Oh my god, perfect example, yeah.
Because that man, people say, oh god, he doesn't shut up. I love listening to Justy.
Oh my god, talk for Ireland, for God's sake.
I would listen to Justy all day, every day.
All day.
He
has such a wealth of knowledge, but it's the fact that you are gripped to every single word he says.
It's actually funny because I've been spending a lot of time in Canada recently, and there's a wrestler over there by the name of Mustafa Jordan, and he came over here for a visit once, and he was here for 3 days tops. And every time I'm talking to him now, he's always asking me, "How's Justy? How is Justy doing?" And he actually came up with a great way of explaining, the way Justy is. And Justy has forgotten more about wrestling than a lot of people will ever learn.
Oh yeah,
like
100%.
Easily.
Easily.
And and he's one of these guys that is not shy about sharing his knowledge with other people, which is a great thing to see.
He wants to teach people.
Yeah.
That's what it is, and he does. I'm also delighted to see that the Spandex Pantomime will be back and back soon.
Yep.
It's great to have Justy back in the air. So we wish you luck, Justy.
We love you.
Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, we love you.
Look forward to hearing from you.
Fingers crossed. You'll have me and Dave on the show.
I'll fly back from Canada just to be on that show.
There you go.
Just put it out there.
Justy, don't succumb to Rick Nash's politics. Okay. Because let's be honest, he didn't make Low Blows. It was me that made Low Blows.
Any excuse.
So
we're nice people, Justy.
Yeah, he is. He's good people.
I'm not.
We're nice people.
We're nice people. Yeah, Justy's good people too. So you mentioned Canada there, and so you're going to be leaving us soon.
I'm going to be leaving soon. I'm heading off in about 2 weeks, which by the time this comes out, will probably be 2 weeks ago.
It actually will. You literally, this will be out, and you will be either going or gone.
Going
I
or
think,
gone, yeah. So, I'm heading off to Canada. I'm going to be over there doing some good things. Going to be training with Drew Onyx in the Torture Chamber Dojo.
Fantastic coach.
Oh,
fantastic
unbelievable coach. I was fortunate enough to spend a summer over there with him, and his training is so intense and so fun, and it's not like any other training I've ever had before. So I absolutely love it. So I'm really looking forward to that, and then hopefully some more stunt work and some new avenues over there. There's a lot of stuff being filmed over in Vancouver at the minute, which is not that far away from where I'm going.
Yeah.
So
now, is it specific stunt work that you want to do, or would you like to do acting, a bit more acting, maybe some speaking roles?
I wouldn't mind dabbling a little bit into the acting side of things.
Yeah.
Just because it's a little less harder on my spine.
Well, that's wrestling as well.
That's wrestling as well. Yeah. I'll do a few more promos and a bit more commentating than wrestling nowadays. But yeah, no, I mean, I'd like to do a bit more acting, and I'd like to do a little bit more stunt work. But the goal is to make the wrestling the full-time job, the full-time bread maker right there. And I think I have a really good opportunity to do that over there.
Well, I tell you, we wish you absolutely the best luck over there.
Thank you very much.
I have absolutely loved listening to the little itty bits of information from Vikings. Really looking forward to seeing the new series. What I have to say, Dave? No, you're not Dave. You're Dave over there.
After all this, he's
after all this, all right, Rodney.
Don't look at me.
Mark, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Amazing.
It's been a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Talk Nerd to Me. I've enjoyed it. Dave, have you enjoyed it?
Absolutely.
It's been fantastic. I hope Rick Nash enjoyed it, although I don't really care whether he did or not. Probably not. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, I've been Jerry. You've been Nerdy. Thank you very much. Good luck, and I'll see you soon.